Hey, Team Bullseye, welcome to another episode of On Target with the Bullseye Chief. I'm Chief Master Sergeant Schaefer, and I have with me Sergeant Johnson from Weapons in the 57th MXG. Sergeant Johnson, why don't you tell the team a little bit about yourself, why you joined the Air Force, how'd you get to Nellis, your family, anything you want to tell them.
Roger that. I'm Sergeant Johnson, currently stationed here at Nellis over at the Tomahawk Squadron. Weapons, yes, sir. Weapons by trade. I've been in 19 years now. I have my wife and 3 daughters at home. What made me join the Air Force? I grew up in small town, rural Minnesota. I just wanted to see the world, kind of get out there, and also serve my country. And I decided the Air Force was the way to do it. They really had some cool things going, and just wanted to be a part of something. And so far, I've seen the world, been around some pretty cool places, done a lot of interesting things, and
awesome. What would you say is the most interesting, or at least the most liked place that the Air Force brought you to?
Personally, when I was stationed up at Creech Air Force Base a few years back, that was a really cool mission, and I really enjoyed being involved in that community and that mission. And just being able to go deploy to Afghanistan multiple times. Went over to Sigonella once, and just being a part of that mission was, to me, it was really cool and cutting edge.
Yeah, it definitely is a cool mission, and having the opportunity to go places definitely is a huge advantage of joining the Air Force. I have taken my share of moves to all kinds of crazy, but even the bad ones. Like you, it sounds like you speak warmly of your time in Afghanistan. I do as well. Like, that's not an opportunity most humans get to do, right? So it's a good thing. Do me a favor. Why don't you think a little bit on your job in weapons? On day to day, what do you think? What's the most impressive thing about the people you work with and the job that you do? And then think about how that ties into the wider 57th Wing mission and how you feel about that.
All right. Day to day, I am in charge of getting the aircraft configured for the next day's missions, keeping up with all the scheduled maintenance, and getting the weapons on board, whatever the mission requirements are for the next day. I see all my crews on a day-to-day grinding it out. They might be times undermanned, which sometimes supposed to have a couple of crews, might be down to 1 or 2 crews. So they're constantly making the mission happen. Like they really do go out of the way and work hard, getting things done. They understand that sometimes we got to do more with less.
Right.
And I try to keep them in high spirits as much as I can, and try to make their life as easy as is possible when we're down in crunch time.
Yeah.
So by us getting these jets reconfigured and ready for the next day's goes, we're supporting the 16th Whips for all their missions and all the tactical and all their tactical missions and how they train and how they're going to fight the next war.
I think recently you're supporting Wisn't right now.
Yep.
Soon you'll be supporting a Red Flag coming up. But which of course are huge lifts. I believe you just did Iron Thunder or something, a massive bomb build, or maybe that hasn't happened yet. But anyway, that's a big lift coming up. And some of those supports with Wizen and Red Flag are unique ways of doing your normal mission, because it's evolved for near peer adversaries or peer adversaries, and you're at the spearhead of that. Would you mind? So, have you handled the new GBU 57 yet?
I have not.
Okay. We were out at Ammo building those the other day, which was kind of heartfelt to me because I've only built 2 bombs in my life as a command chief. One was a GBU 54 and the other one was a GBU 57. So the big brother now of the GBU 54. And I got to see the evolution of that technology, which is cool. But we just recently, I think, did the first stuff with that. And your weapons team has a lot to do with that. So I wanted to point that out, because if it's a big deal, it's probably happening here at Nellis.
Yes.
Okay, but before we wrap this up, what is, as compared to other units that you've been stationed at? You mentioned Creech and their mission, other units you've been stationed at. What stands out to you at the 57th as the most impressive or unique thing that you noticed when in the weapon shop or the 57th Wing at large, as compared to other places you've been at?
I think just the size of the mission. I mean, it is massive. Once you start really looking into it, like at Creech, it was very, very small. We had 2 small units, but down here, I mean, there's multiple units, and they're all huge, and they all have massive missions to deal with. So just seeing the complexity that goes into a lot of these things, and then you start really understanding, okay, well, now there's other airmen that are, multiple ways down the road from you, or whether it's ammo or all these different agencies, like, oh, so that's what they do. So they're supporting them, which in turn is supporting us. So once you start looking into it, it's a huge operation.
That's a great segue. There's something we do internal in the wing. Excuse me. We call it Nellis Navigators, where we take an airman who might be in their, stovepipe doing their job, have no idea. Maybe they're a personnelist, and they've always wondered what a weapons loader does. Have no idea. We'll take them and we'll bring them to weapons in a formal sense, and they'll do the job. They'll have weapons people will show them, maybe run them through a load, everything, like even have them load something. And they'll learn a lot about what you guys do, spend a little time in your shoes. So that's what we do for that. If you could go experience any other job that you've just wondered about or heard about or anything, what would that be?
For me, probably something like in the intel world,
Yeah.
or even in the cyber world. I think those are pretty interesting, and there's a lot going on with those AFSCs these days.
Yeah, there sure is. Yeah, we just actually got a little brief the other day from the 57th IAS, the aggressors, the information aggressors. Some pretty startling things those guys are working on. But hey, I appreciate your time. Thank you for sharing with Team Nellis your story. If you have it, do you have any parting words you'd like to say to Team Nellis, or?
Just keep up the good work, and no matter how small the task is, there's always something bigger on the other end.
Yeah, excellent. You're just another great example of the high-performing team that we have here that we're also very proud of, and I think our nation is rightfully proud of us, Team Bullseye. So thank you again for your time. Thank you, Team Bullseye. Until next time on Target. Thank you.